أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Tonight is our 13th lesson in our series on learning how to read the Holy Quran. Last night we covered Tanween. And as you remember, Tanween is when a letter has two short vowel markings. That means it either has two fatha on it, or two kasra on it, or two dhamma on it. And what the tanween does is that it adds a noon sound, or we could say an n sound, at the end of a vowel. So for example, we explained last night that any letter, for example, such as a ba, such as we have here, if a ba has a fatha, we read it as ba. With the short vowel sound, we say ba. But if the ba has these two fatha on it, then this produces tanween, which means a noon sound with a noon sound. So we say ban. We pronounce the same vowel sound as when it has one fatha, but when it has two fatha, we put a noon sound at the end of it. We say ban. Another example, when a ba has a kasra under it, we say be. But when it has two kasra under it, we add that noon sound to the end of the vowel and we say bin. Or when a ba has a dhamma on it, we say bo. We read it as bo. But when it has two dhamma, and you remember that this is the shorthand way for writing the two dhamma, when it has two dhamma on it, we say bun. One dhamma is bo, two dhamma on it is bun. So that was the summary of what we covered last night. Tonight, inshallah, what we're going to do is we're going to form words, see how words are formed with short vowels and with tanween. And then we're going to see how we write them ourselves. So our first word, as you see here, has three letters. The first letter is alif with fatha. Second letter is ha with fatha. Third letter is dal with the two dhamma on it. So we see that the alif here does not change and it does not connect on its left, so it has a space after it. The ha becomes its lowercase form. We have the ha here in the lowercase form without the tail. And this connects to the dal, which remains the same because the dal does not have a lowercase form and the dal has the two dhammas. So how do we read this? You see up here we have alif with fatha is a. Ha with fatha is ha. And dal with two dhammas is dun. So when we bring them together, we read this as a ha dun. Ahadun. That's our first word. Ahadun. Our next word, well, before we go to our next word, we're going to practice writing it ourselves. So first we write the alif with the fatha, then the lowercase form of the ha with the fatha, and then the dal with the two dhamma. So you can write this shorthand, or you can write it as two dhamma just like that. Both are correct and both are fine. So now we go on to our next word. And our next word has three letters. Ra with fatha, so this is read as ra. Jim with dhamma is read as jo. And lam with two dhammas is read as lun. So the ra comes down here in its full form because it does not have a lowercase and it doesn't connect on its left, so there's a space here. It does not connect to the next letter. This is the lowercase of the jim with its one dot, and then the lam is the last letter of the word, so it stays in its full form. So we read this as ra jo lun, rajulun, and now we're going to write it ourselves. So first we write the ra with its fatha, and the ra does not connect on its left, we leave a little space. Then the lowercase of the jim with its one dot and dhamma, and then the lam in its full form because it's the last letter with its two dhamma. So we read this as rajulun, rajulun. Our next word has four letters, but we're going to encounter something new with this fourth letter, as you'll see. So the first letter is kaf with dhamma, This is read as ku. This is fa with dhamma. This is read as fu. And then this is waw with two fathas. This is read as one. And then we have an alif here at the end. And you'll see in a lot of places of the Quran, you will see this alif, but it will be silent. And when we get to those lessons in the future, inshallah, we'll explain where these letters are and when they're silent and when they're going to be read. But in this instance, in this case, this alif here is silent. It's part of the word, but it is silent. So now we bring this kaf down here, and the lowercase of the kaf, if you remember, has this bent long part. So this tall part of the kaf becomes bent and it has that flat base. Then it connects to the lowercase of the fa, and then it connects to the waw, and the waw, of course, does not connect after. So there's a space and then the alif. So we read this as ko, fu, one, ko, fu, one. So this is one of the words, as many of you will recognize, from Surah Qul Huwallahu Ahad. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. So now we're going to write it ourselves. So first we write the lowercase of the kaf, and we have that bent part, the bent top with the flat base, and we write it dhamma, ku. Then we write the lowercase of the fa with its one dot, and it's dhamma, it's fu. And then we connect the waw with its two fathas, and then the silent alif. So this is ku, fu, one, kufu, one. Our next word has three letters. This is ba with fatha, so it's read ba. Lam with fatha, so it's read la. Dal with two kasras, so it's read din. So we bring the ba down here, and it's lowercase with one dot. Then it's the lowercase lam, and then connect it to the dal, which stays the same because it doesn't have a lowercase. So we read this as ba la din, baladin. So now we're going to write it ourselves. So first we write the lowercase of the ba with the one dot underneath and its fatha. Then the lowercase of the lam with its fatha. And then we connect the dal with its two kasras. So we have the same word, ba, la, din, baladin. Our next word, again, has three words, three letters. Ba with fatha, this is read as ba. Sheen with fatha is read sha. Ra with two kasras is read rin. So we bring the lowercase of the ba, then we connect it to the lowercase of the sheen, and then connect the ra. So this is read as ba, sha, rin, basharin. Now we write this ourselves. So we write first the lowercase of the ba with the fatha. The lowercase of the sheen, remember it's one curve, two curve, and then an extension. And then the sheen has three dots and the fatha. And then right here where the extension of the sheen ends, we write a ra. Just like that, with its two kasras. So this is ba, sha, rin, basharin. Our next word, excuse me, has three letters. This is ayn with fatha, which is read a. Mim with fatha, which is read ma. Lam with two dhammas, which is read lun. So if you remember, the ayn has three forms. So this is the form of the ayn, the lowercase form of the ayn that's at the beginning of a word. Then it's connected to the lowercase of the mim, and then the lam stays in its uppercase form because it's the last letter. So this is read as a, ma, lun, amalun. Now you're going to write it yourself. So first we write the lowercase of the ayn, the form that's at the beginning of a word with its fatha. Then the lowercase of the mim with its fatha. Let's extend it a little bit. And then the lam stays in its full uppercase form because it's the last letter. And then this time we'll write the two dhammas full like that. That's correct too. So this is a, ma, lun, amalun. And I believe we have now our last letter. This has 4 letters, and it has a letter that you have not seen before. We'll explain how to read it, and then later on we'll explain how it gets pronounced and read in different times, which is a topic for another lesson. But for tonight, we'll just explain how you pronounce it. So this first letter is ba with fatha, it's read as ba. The second letter is qaf with fatha, it's read qa. Then we have ra with fatha is read ra. And then this last letter, this you see right here, this is a ha with 2 dots on it. This is called ta marbuta. So just for now, you should remember that when you see this ha with the 2 dots, you pronounce it like the letter ta. That's all you should remember for now. Just remember that you pronounce it like the letter ta. So this ta marbuta with the 2 dhammas is pronounced tun. So now we have the lowercase of the ba, then we have the lowercase of the qaf connected to the ra, which of course has a space after because it doesn't connect on its left. And then we have the ta marbuta, which stays in that form. So this is read as ba, qa, ra, tun, baqaratun. Now we're going to write it ourselves. And you're going to write it as well too. So now first you write the lowercase of the ba with its fatha, then the lowercase of the qaf with its 2 dots and its fatha, then you connect the ra right at the extension of the qaf with its fatha, and then we write the ta marbuta with its 2 dots and its 2 dhammas, and we'll write the shorthand this time. So this is ba, qa, ra, tun, baqaratun, and that is our last word for tonight, and we'll pick up tomorrow inshallah. This is the end of our lesson for tonight.